Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of KYC, Know Your Crypto. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing Bitcoin's dip down to $28,000. We'll look at the reaction from crypto personalities. Is Bitcoin doomed? I'll weigh in with my thoughts as well. Stick around until the end of the video. As always, anything that is discussed on this channel is not financial advice. Please continue to do your own research. Okay, thanks for tuning back into KYC. Today's episode is going to be all about Bitcoin. While I might be showing you images on screen of Bitcoin's death, the truth is, Bitcoin couldn't be any farther from death than it is right now. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin is worth $34,000 USD. But considering it was worth double this price just 2 months ago, many Bitcoin and crypto investors are worried for what will happen in the short term, with some people commenting that Bitcoin may drop down to even as low as $10,000. But with all due respect to Carla Mose, who wrote an article on what bookies are predicting, I'm a lot more curious to know what the actual crypto experts are saying. Let's begin with taking a look at what one particular expert is not just saying, but also doing. First, we have Bitcoin maximalist Michael Saylor tweeting that his company MicroStrategy has bought the dip yet again. In total, MicroStrategy has accumulated more than 100,000 Bitcoin, which, based on their dollar cost averaging and dip buying approach, was purchased at an average price of $26,000 per Bitcoin. Quite an investment thus far. Next, we have famous investor Raoul Pal tweeting, "While we are all enjoying the volatility, actually, I'm pretty impressed how people are taking it as par for the course and aren't overly freaked out. Here's what we are actually investing in: the fastest rate of adoption of any technology in all history. Volatility is noise." And here's a closer look at Raoul Pal's image, which shows the total amount of crypto users compared to global internet users based on a similar time span. The growth of crypto users is still increasing 80% more per year, which is at a higher rate than that of internet users. Bitcoin on-chain expert Willy Woo tweets, "Green, the ratio of coins held by strong hands versus speculative hands. Yes, it's a bullish divergence. Last one was the late January 2021 dip. Prior times the ratio was at this level, price was 45 to 50K. And here's a closer look at the image Willy Woo tweeted. As you can see, as the price of Bitcoin has steadily decreased over the past few weeks on the top line chart, the bottom line chart reveals Bitcoin addresses that have held Bitcoin longer term, and that line chart increases as the Bitcoin price decreases. Hodlers aren't just hodling, they're buying the dip." Seasoned trader and Bitcoin investor Michael Vanderpop also tweeted something similar to Willy Woo. "Long-term holders of Bitcoin are accumulating again heavily. Short-term holders of Bitcoin are selling again heavily. It always goes like that." Next, I'm going to show a few tweets from Anthony Pompliano. "The on-chain data is overwhelming. The new weak-handed investors are selling to the experienced strong-handed investors. People who have been around for a while love cheap Bitcoin." Next tweet from Pompliano is about perspective. "Imagine back in November when Bitcoin was around $10,000 if someone had told you Bitcoin has crashed to 30,000 and everyone is scared." And if you want even further perspective, take a look at this. In Bitcoin's very early years, it was worth basically nothing, all the way until around February of 2011 when it finally hit $1. In November of 2013, in the bull run, it was worth between $350 and $1,200, which is extremely cheap compared to what it's worth right now. I like this specific Twitter thread from Anthony Pompliano, who tweeted this morning when Bitcoin had fallen below 30,000 and hit around $28,000. "I'm not a trader. I don't look at charts and I don't try to time markets. If anything, I'm an atrocious trader who is guaranteed to lose. I have a very long-term view of the asset and believe it will continue to accrue value and adoption over the next few decades. My strategy with Bitcoin over the last few years is simple: accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. The word accumulate is important. This is an action you do with no intention of selling for profit later. The idea has always been to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. For those that don't know what this is, I basically buy Bitcoin on a periodic basis without caring what the price is. Sometimes I buy when the price is high, sometimes I buy when the price is low, weekly or monthly. The dollar cost average strategy relies on the idea that time in the market is more important than timing the market. This has historically been true in Bitcoin. The asset has an annual compound growth rate of over 100% throughout the last decade. When the price of Bitcoin falls, which it has been doing for the last few weeks, I try to speed up the frequency of my dollar cost averaging. Given my oversized exposure to Bitcoin, this isn't always easy, but I do my best and spend most of my time trying to find more money. I don't care about the short-term price movement of Bitcoin after I buy it. Remember, I'm not a trader. I buy the asset and tell myself that I'm going to hand it to my grandchildren one day. As Warren Buffett famously says, our favorite holding period is forever. The key to investing in a volatile asset like Bitcoin is that you have to size your portfolio allocation correctly. Don't invest money that you will need for daily expenses or money that you can't afford to lose. Markets are volatile. Long-term investing means long-term. A key reason why I take the long-term holding strategy to the extreme is for emotional control and peace of mind. It is easy to stomach wild price swings when you know you're handing the asset to your grandchildren. Fear and greed are very real. Insulate yourself from them. Now, that Twitter thread went on for a few more tweets, and I won't read them all, but I have to say that I very much agree with Anthony Pompliano's strategy. If you plan on being in crypto for the long term, which means several years, based on historical data, you are almost guaranteed to make a profit. Of course, this is not financial advice. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments what you think about the current state of Bitcoin and this bull run, or if you think that this is in fact a bear market. Personally, if you're a subscriber of the channel, you'll know that I'm here for the long term, and I still believe we are in a bull run despite bearish price action. I love the technology that is cryptocurrency and assets, and I have no doubt short-term volatility is just noise. Ultimately, Bitcoin is one of the best assets in the entire world, and more people, companies, institutions, and now even countries are waking up to it. That's going to do it for this video. If you like this content and want to see more, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.